S-500 might detect F-35 and F-22 as it's possible to defeat stealth if they get too close, and radars might get a lock on them, but S-500 might not make the stealth aircraft obsolete. S-500 is a new generation surface-to-air missile system. It is designed for intercepting and destroying intercontinental ballistic missiles, as well as hypersonic cruise missiles and aircraft, for air defense against airborne early warning and control, and for jamming aircraft. With a planned range of 600 kilometers for anti-ballistic missile and 400 kilometers for the air defense, the S-500 would be able to detect and simultaneously engage up to 10 ballistic hypersonic targets flying at a speed of 5 kilometers per second to a limit of 7 kilometers per second. It also aims at destroying hypersonic cruise missiles and other aerial targets at speeds of higher than Mach 5, as well as spacecraft. The altitude of a target engaged can be as high as 180 to 200 kilometers. Effective against ballistic missiles with the launch range of 3,500 kilometers, the radar reaches a radius of 3,000 kilometers. Other targets it has been announced to defend against include unmanned aerial vehicles, low Earth orbit satellites, and space weapons launched from hypersonic aircraft, drones, and hypersonic orbital platforms. Russia's fearsome new S-500 air and missile defense system has apparently entered production and is setting new records for missile engagement range. The next generation weapon is designed to supplement Moscow's already potent S-400 and replace the A-135 anti-ballistic missile system. Not only does the weapon have unprecedented capability to hit high-altitude targets including ballistic missiles and satellites at extremely long ranges, there have been some claims, usually from the media, that the system could target stealth aircraft. Indeed, according to U.S. defense sources, Moscow recently conducted a record-breaking test of the S-500 system at ranges that were previously thought to be impossible. According to a CNBC report citing U.S. intelligence officials, the S-500 surface-to-air missile system successfully struck a target 299 miles away, which the U.S. assessed is 50 miles further than any known test. S-500 can engage stealth aircraft. There are some reports that the S-500 can engage stealth aircraft including the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor, F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, or any other low observable platform for that matter. The Russians claim that the system can engage over the horizon and can be plugged into an air defense network to include satellites. Given the S-500's advanced networking capabilities, some military analysts have suggested that the Russians might genuinely be able to engage stealth aircraft. Indeed, by networking multiple high-speed long-wave radars, it might be possible to generate a weapons-quality track on an aircraft such as the F-22 or F-35. Sensor fusion has afforded militaries many capabilities that are greater than the sum of their parts. S-500 might not make the stealth aircraft obsolete. It merely extends the anti-access area denial, A2AD, bubble outward and makes operating within it much more dangerous. The stealth aircraft could be seen from a long distance by using ultra-high frequency, UHF, radars, but they are unlikely to have any degree of reliability on locking onto a target. This is what the S-band or X-band targeting radars are meant to do. However, they have two significant handicaps. Stealth aircraft are optimized to deal specifically with these particular wavelengths, shortening their effective range. Stealth is not an invisibility cloak. The B-21 is expected to improve greatly over the old B-2, so the cat-and-mouse game continues strongly. As can be seen with the downing of the F-117 in the Balkans using an S-100, it's possible to defeat stealth if they get too close and your radars get a lock on them. These radars are very noisy and easy to detect. The U.S. Air Force places a high importance on the suppression of enemy air defenses, SEAD, and these bright, noisy radars will draw anti-radiation missiles to them like moths to a flame. Most modern SAMs have pop-up radars that only activate when firing and then go dark again to preserve them. Unfortunately, the latest generation anti-rad missiles have memory in them and can remember the coordinates of a radar even after it does dark again. The Russians have placed a penchant on mobility with the S-500 for this precise reason. It's meant to shoot and scoot. The U.S. Air Force will most likely operate under a standoff stance when dealing with these SAMs, attempting to destroy them from standoff range where it cannot engage the U.S. Air Force assets, but the U.S. Air Force can engage it. The S-500 batteries will also likely be under nearly constant satellite surveillance, which will be easier, as the great expense of these systems and Russia's meager budget will curtail the procurement of huge numbers. Electronic warfare. Another point of consideration is the role of electronic warfare and electronic countermeasures and electronic countermeasures. The United States places a high priority on electronic warfare expertise. These capabilities, which include anything from radio frequency jamming, noise generation, and communication suppression, will further degrade the S-500's capabilities during the actual war, and should not be discounted. While each of these methods has counters, automated frequency hopping, increased filtering through better processing, and alternate forms of communication, respectively, it is not clear-cut, and one can expect a certain level of degradation during combat, perhaps 20% reduced effectiveness at best. U.S. electronic warfare capabilities are certainly in the top 3 of the world, if not the best. The Chinese and Russians are aware of this and have been making strides to defend against this, but the gap remains. It's a deterrence weapon, nothing more. It will be highly useful in operations, and its usefulness in anti-hypersonic missile operations remains to be seen. U.S. Air Force warfighters will need to be even more careful when operating in these environments.